Well, I'm Rob Leatham. I work for Springfield Armory. I've been in a firearms competition shooter for 30, on the national level, 33, 34 years. Pretty much won everything that's in that world for practical pistol shooting, and have been an instructor to a lot of law enforcement and special operations groups throughout the world for about the last 25 years. So.
Now, how has the shooting competition changed over the last 10 years or so?
Well, it's become much more refined and better. When I started shooting, first off, it was the concept. It was a true test and duplication of the skills needed for a self-defense and/or combative circumstance. The reality is, most real fights are much quicker and much easier in as far as the test goes that the combatant will be involved in than in the competition. So the competition make it interesting. We make it much harder, much quicker, much less time, and much more difficult. So the good news for that is the skills we learn are pertinent to anybody that needs to apply the ability to shoot rapidly, precisely, under pressure, very short time constraints with powerful guns. Now, if that sounds like something you might need, the competition shooters are the ones that have perfected that. But you have to understand, it comes from the standpoint of once the decision to pull the trigger has been made.
Right.
That's where I am as good as it gets.
Right.
I'm not even beginning to preach myself as a tactician. I would never say, Steve, I think I'll go kick Steve's ass. That's the kind of thing that, that's called suicide. But when it comes to the point of you want to learn how to pull the trigger, I'm your guy. My drive, not to put it too bluntly though, is to beat everybody at everything. Now, we never do. There's so many good shooters involved in the game that you're never going to dominate and win absolutely every. I did it one time in my whole career. I won every match one year. And the reality is that there's so many good people that it drives you to get better. So I'm a senior now. I'm 55. I feel like I'm 11. And my drive is the same thing. I've been at this show now since Sunday I came up, and all I want to do is go home and go shooting. And I feel like I'm burning time where I really wish I was at home practicing and training, because that's my drive, is to get a little bit better. And so for this year, it's the same thing, is to try to put dominating performances in and try to perform as well as I can and see how it goes.
We met with a lot of younger shooters that are coming in, and a lot of you're basically looked at as a great example and as someone to kind of look up to with respect to that.
I'm probably the guy that they all know because I've been around it so long.
Right.
I mean, I won my first national in 1983. Most of these kids I'm shooting against weren't born.
No.
So, I mean, as a source of information, and I wouldn't say it's so much motivation, but maybe there's some of that in there, is I'm the guy that they should be beating. I know, being a butthead, when I was a kid, I would tell you, I was 25 years old, I wouldn't have liked it if a 55-year-old guy had beaten me. So my drive now is to try to maintain that as long as I can, and even more so, teach the kids how to get there, because I realize, that somebody that's faster, stronger, can see better than I can, and shoot as well as I can ought to beat me.
Should.
So I've found really more interest in the last couple of years is in the training process, because what I've developed in the way I teach and the way I train is completely different than what I was taught when I started. Because we had fallbacks, focus on the front sight, squeeze the trigger, the kind of bullshit that you can't do if you want to shoot fast. So for me, it's really come into to precisely defining what allows skill to develop and perfect the methods of creating that.
And the training that you do and the opportunities that you have to kind of meet with people and change the way that they look at how to shoot, like, what does that mean for you when you can see people just basically change their whole shooting style?
Well, it's really not changes so much as I love seeing people improve. If you have a student that's coming in and doing everything right and not doing it well, you try to make them do it better. If you have a student that comes in and isn't doing anything right, you try to teach them how to do it right. So there's kind of a different motivation for all those things. All I ever want is for the guy to learn something that he can take and make an improvement in his, not only his shooting ability, but possibly his training format, so that he's going to get better and better and better. Because it shouldn't be a, hey, here's a piece for you, and I'll dole you out another piece later. So I'm going to put you in a process where you analyze your own.
Fantastic.
Right, and then you can you don't need me.
Yeah.
The perfect thing would be for one day that the guy doesn't need me anymore.
Now, there's the event coming up, Evolution of Shooting. So tell us about that.
Well, Gunsight's 40 years old now. They are, interesting enough, I was up there the year before they even opened, but it's another story. When I was a kid, and their Gunsight is known for being the facility that really started the revolution in practical pistol shooting and training. And they're taking the next steps to bring in not to rewrite what they do. That's not the right way to say this.
Yeah.
But to add to the next step, because evolution never quits and the development never quits.
Right.
So they're bringing in this event, which is going to be like nothing I've ever even heard of before. You're going to get to spend part of the day with Steve, part of the day with Chris, part of the day with me. You're going to do open hand combat. You're going to do edge weapons. You're going to do rifle stuff with Chris. You're going to do pistol stuff with me. It's a chance for somebody who qualifies to be in this environment to learn a lot of things in a very short amount of time. I imagine it's going to be a real ass kicker of an event. So somebody coming in that they want to come in and have a little party and cruise around on the range all day, hey, skip it.
Don't be there.
This is not going to be your moment. If you're coming in, you want to work, you want to learn from people that are very competent at what they do, I can't imagine a better environment and a better event. It may be a one-time only ever opportunity.
Right. Folks, we're really grateful to be here with Rob. Thanks so much, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one.